a lot of times people discount, there's a lot of people going through tough times right now. Um, a lot of people are experiencing a lot of changes in their lives. And I want you to think about your friends and think about the people that you meet just casually on a daily basis, and go out of your way today to be an encourager. Tell somebody good luck with their day, wish them well. Somebody somebody you love. Um, a lot of times we get wrapped up in our own stuff that we don't think that we're not the only one that's going through stuff. And sometimes more people are going through more than you. All right. It can always be worse. But I always talk about, you know, um, being the energy you want to receive, especially when you're going through hard times. A lot of times people think, somebody actually being able to help you physically or to help you financially. And sometimes the biggest help that people can give you is a pat on the back and a well wish. I wish you well, a genuine, well wish. And you know what? There's no better day and time for you to be that person. You know, um, I received a note from someone yesterday that was very touching. And it was just basically a note to wish me well. I get them, often, but this one was particular. It's just a note to wish me well, to understand, you know, um, that sometimes doing what I do is very difficult. Sometimes it brings a lot of scrutiny from people. Sometimes it brings a lot of, you guys can always see the trolls, the ignorant people. And sometimes, my resolve is pretty strong, but, still we're all human. And some days it's like, you don't feel like dealing with it, you know? Some days you really don't feel like dealing with it. And I'm a very, very strong person. And the fact that that person recognized that, right, and just thought to say, hey, I see a lot of times you're trying your best, and some people out there don't make it easy, or it's not easy. And I want you to say, I want you to know that, your words make a difference. You've helped me out tremendously. That gave me encouragement. You know, um, that put a little bit more vinegar in me. You know what I'm saying? Not that I would ever skip a day, because I do know that um, we are making an impact out there, and the people who are trying to spread negativity, the people who are trying to not uplift but tear down, they don't take a day off. All right, as you can see, they do not take a day off. You give it a few more minutes, the trolls will be on, and they'll be back at it. The negativity never stops. But at the same time, I can never stop. But it's always good to know and get that encouragement. So if you know someone, that even if you think they're strong, even if you think they got it, wish them well. All right? Because I always talk about good energy. We all would love to receive good energy from people. Okay, we all would love to receive encouragement from people. That's why I always thank people who are gracious enough to buy badges and stars. That is a true indication of someone who really appreciates what I try to do. And it doesn't matter the denomination. People buy 69 cents. Guess what? Imagine if everybody bought 69 cents. Imagine everybody just told you good luck and have a good day. Imagine how good you would feel, how much more supported you would feel, and a lot of times we can't wait for people to do that. Sometimes we have to be the one that initiates that. All right? We have to be the ones that initiate that. We have to be the ones that say, hey, you know what? Here you go. Good luck today. I wish everything turns out really good. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful day. And just starting that kind of energy is like, everybody see that movie called Pay It Forward. I think it's called Pay It Forward. I never really saw the movie, but I heard about the concept of the movie, and imagine if everybody made that their mission to go out and basically say, I'm going to, pay good energy forward, right? Imagine the kind of, vibration you create around yourself, because there's nothing better than seeing a genuine smile on somebody's face that you helped put there. All right? Imagine that. You know? So for Friday, but just not just Friday, but every day, try to be that energy. And that's why I try to be that energy. That's why I try to acknowledge people when I see them. People, even the people who work in my building, some of them are very surprised that I know all the custodians' names. I know the people that work at the front desk, because these people are people. And sometimes, not just gonna say sometimes, we should treat people like people. We should treat people how we want to be treated. We should acknowledge people. We should wish people well, because sometimes that small gesture, right, can be everything that person needed just to get through that day. Everything. And even the people who are not necessarily the most pleasant. I know it's difficult to do that, all right? But even sometimes when people who are not the most pleasant, at least try your best. Good morning. Okay, you have a good day. It takes nothing from you. It takes nothing from you. And you know what? I've had it happen to me before where somebody was kind of surly at me, for no reason. I didn't know this person from anywhere. And I wished them well anyway. All right? And they walked away almost in a huff. And literally less than a couple of minutes later, they came back and apologized for their actions because they were having a bad day. But that gesture let them know, hey, the world's not against you. And believe it or not, the world is not. Okay? The world is not. And I see so many people walk around with these scowls on their faces and stuff like that, as if they have the exclusive right to all the world's problems. Right? And I know sometimes it feels that way, but in actuality, it really isn't. You're not special, you're not unique, it's just your turn. That's life, But a lot of times people will take a bad 5 minutes, bad 5 days, bad 5 months, and let it dictate and color their entire life, even the bad 5 years, okay? I have met some people who've gone through the worst of things, abusive relationships, war, death. And sometimes those people are the most pleasant people. You know how they say, right? You can't truly appreciate heaven until your toes have tipped hell. Okay? I know what it's like to have some version of hell. All right? And I think once again, I always laugh. I tell people, people who have actually had real near-death experiences or been through a lot in their lives, right? Sometimes those people are the most pleasant people, right? It's usually the people who have imagined their problems or haven't really been through much, right? That have all this stress. There's something magical that happens to you when you're laying there and all you can hope for is just one more day. Let me just get up from this. It puts life in perspective. Sometimes you look at all the things you got mad about it because your life literally flashes before you. All the things you spent energy getting mad about, all the things you were worried about, all those things now pale because you realize what's most important, the precious gift you have, which is life. And then you protect that life. You go out every single day, with a newfound attitude, like you literally received a gift because you understand that it's a gift just to walk around, all right? And you try to spread at least some light, some joy, some happiness everywhere you go. And an easy way to do it is good morning. How you doing? Have a nice day. Smile. Will everybody acknowledge you? No, of course not. Some people are going to be stuck where they are, but at least you try it. You put out the energy out there. All right, and if enough people did that to that person, guess what happens? They soften. And the only way we can get enough people to do it is we have to do it. Because you know what? Sometimes people experience kindness, and it takes a little while for it to kick in for them. But you never know, that person might turn around, even though they were surly towards you. They think about their actions, and maybe 5 minutes later, they see someone else. And you know what? Somebody was just nice to me. Why don't I just be nice? They might open a door. They might smile. They might be nice. And that keeps reverberating. And now you have changed the vibration around you. Now you've created a new energy around you. Now you also now are in line for different energy. All right. And, just something to keep in mind for Friday. Exactly. You're so right, Stacy. Stacy said there's a meme that says, when you woke up this morning, someone else was taking their last breath. Keep that in mind. That's perspective right there. All right? Someone else, when you woke up this morning, was taking their last breath. The things that you take for granted, health, the capacity to wake up, the capacity to be mad about trivial stuff. Right? A lot of people don't even have that luxury, because guess what? They're on their deathbed. They're taking their last breath. And a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of those people did not appreciate and were not grateful for the lives they had until now they lost them. Don't be that person. Be grateful. Like I said, spread good energy. Understand that, what? Tough times happen. You got to just roll with it. Tough times happen. All right? No one, the world is not picking on you. All right? The world is not picking on you. Trust me. All right? We're all lined up for it. And guess what? There will always be tough times. People always ask me, why do you smile all the time? Why not? What has frowning and scowling done for me except give me expression lines, which I'm trying my best. That was one of my resolutions for 2022, is to not crunch up my brow so much, because it got terrible. And so I made a good amount of progress, not crunching up my brow so much, but that wasn't I was even mad. But what does frowning do for us? It lowers our vibration, right? It actually weakens our immune system. How many people actually know that being angry affects your immune system? Do you know why it affects your immune system? Because the act of anger increases stress. Stress produces cortisol. Cortisol weakens the human body. It's true. It's true. You put people in high stress situations, guess what happens? They get sick. You're making yourself sick. You're making yourself feel even worse. You're bringing yourself down. And guess what? Like I said yesterday, every morning, happiness, joy, gratitude, hope, all show up at your door in the form of choices. It's the choices you make that will bring you happiness, that will bring you joy, that will bring you hope, that will create light and energy in your life. Choices. You can choose to be disgruntled, you can choose to be mad about everything, you can choose to be surly, or you can choose that despite everything that's going on, despite everything not going your way, you're going to be happy, you're going to be pleasant. Why? Because the opposite doesn't change anything. The only thing it does, it harms you, it changes you, it makes you in a bad mood. Sometimes it blocks you from blessings. All right? It really does. Sometimes it blocks you from blessings. It was that Louis, exactly. You got to wake up every day and say, you know what, we're going to thug this day out. We're going to thug it out. Okay? You're going to thug it out. All right? And sometimes the best way to thug it out is with a smile. All right? We're going to put on a happy face, and not necessarily put on a happy face because you're not being fake. I'm not asking you to be fake. I'm asking you to be grateful. I'm asking you to truly take inventory of your life. Take inventory of where you are. Understand that storms come and go. This one will pass. Okay? It's only how you ride it out. All right? Isn't it funny how people run out of the rain but run to go take a shower? Perspective. Okay? Perspective. Sometimes you just got to be grateful. You got to take it as it comes. All right? You got to take it as it comes. And that's life. So be that person today sharing good energy, guys. Be grateful for the storms. Like I said yesterday, they galvanize your spirit. They build you. They've built you thus far. Whatever storm you're going through, it'll pass. But don't allow those things to change you in a negative way. All right? Allow them to make you better. And then also be better towards the people around you. Because unfortunately, a lot of people around you don't have the luxury of perspective. Okay? Unfortunately, they don't. They don't have the luxury of perspective. And you having garnered a certain understanding of life and perspective, you can now impart that. And how simple is it? Good morning. Good morning. It takes nothing from you. But it makes you feel so good. You know, when you can share a smile with someone, right? When you can genuinely say good morning. You know? I remember one time I said good morning to somebody and they had this retort, you know, what's so good about it? I said, well, you're alive. That beats the alternative now, doesn't it? And they couldn't help but kind of laugh, you know. They couldn't help but kind of laugh because it's true. The fact that you were there to complain about the morning is something you should be grateful for. It's a luxury. We need to keep it simple. Don't get bogged down by all the things that we expect and want. A lot of people expect so much out of life. That's why you walk around depressed and disappointed, right? Everything you get in life is a gift. Life itself is the biggest gift. The opportunity to change your life, it's a gift. It's not something you're owed. I always tell people, you owe the world. You owe your community. You owe everyone around you. How do you pay that back? You pay that back with service, with kindness, with consideration. You pay that back by giving them the best version of you. Not by asking for more and demanding more, even though you've given nothing. You owe. You are a servant to the world, especially some of us who the world has been so kind, so great to and blessed us with skills and talent and things like that. You owe. I owe. Okay? Someone says you gain perspective as you age. I don't know. Some people, I don't know if the age is not don't get me wrong. I think age, you can gain perspective as you age because you know what? You've kind of ridden the horse a couple of more times than most people, right? But we all know some people who, no matter how much older they get, they don't get it. You know, there's a whole saying. Some people got 20 years experience and some people got 1 year's experience 20 times. I know some people who have 1 year's experience. I know a lot of people who have 1 year's experience 20 times. You know why? Because they never learn. They keep doing the same thing. All right. So, I don't know. Age should be and could be, you know, hopefully an opportunity for maturity, an opportunity for enlightenment, an opportunity for wisdom, but it's not guaranteed because, you know, enlightenment, wisdom, you know, insight, foresight, those things are things you have to choose to do. And a lot of people, unfortunately, choose the opposite. They choose to be in denial. They choose to not admit their own wrongs. They choose not to learn from their mistakes. It's always everybody else's fault but yours, you know. And so, you know, and life will humble you, but sometimes some people just don't ever get humbled, you know. Sometimes some people don't ever get humbled. I mean, maybe later on they'll do it. They will. I've seen that. But by that time they're broken and, you know, and it's taken so much out of them, you know. So, you know, just don't let that be you. So that, just don't let that be you. I try to learn from my mistakes. If I've been flawless with that, no, I've had to make a couple of times, and then before you get it. It's hard to admit that you are the one at fault, but it's very pivotal in the maturation of any person, or in the maturation of a man, because sometimes we can be bullheaded, especially when you're smart and all these things like that. You sometimes, when you're young, you think you're infallible. And that is one of the best, I think, one of the biggest lessons of growth. That, like, bro, you're not that smart, okay? And unless you learn from your mistakes, every time you encounter anyone, right? If any wrong was done, usually you have a part in it. You may not be 50-50, but even if your wrong was just showing up, learn not to show up to certain things. I make a joke with friends of mine. They say sometimes when we get older as men, they say we get wiser, and we have more restraint. We do this, we do this. Listen, I learned something real simple. Okay, one of the easiest way to avoid BS is to learn where BS happens. All right, to learn where the variables are dicey at best, and just don't go there. Then you don't have to be strong. Then you don't have to do all those things like that. If you know BS happens usually over there, and you're exposed to the opportunity for BS to happen, guess what? You just don't go there. Very simple. I don't have to be cautious when I go there and all those things like that. I just don't go there. That's it. And you learn that from experience. You get mixed up in a lot of BS. You see some people look like they're full of BS. Guess what? You stay away from the BS. And when you've been around for a long time, you know where BS is. You know people that got a lot of stuff with them. And yeah, of course, you could try to handle it and stuff like that, or not. Or not. It's almost like there's fire over there, so I'm going to put my fire retardant suit on. I'm going to spray myself down. I'm going to take precautions. I got a fire extinguisher. Or just don't go there. There you go. There's tons of other things and places and people you can deal with. Just don't deal with that one. Don't go there, Exactly. So it's like going to a rap concert. There's just too much potential for BS. There you go. There you go. Going places where the crowd is uncertain. Yeah, we're not doing that. Not at 50-some years old. Nope. Yeah, it could be fun, but it could be some BS there as well. So I'm gonna skip the BS. Me personally. If you look like somebody who's an angry person and always got some stuff with you, guess what? I'm gonna skip you too. Okay. Someone says, can I ask you something? I have a niece that weighs 240 pounds. I try to talk to her and tell her, that I will go to just a portion of food. I mean, that's the best you can do for her. You can try to give her support. No one wants to be unhealthy. But a lot of times, especially, these days, people are not honest enough with themselves. All right. If you're a young lady and you're 200, 340 pounds, you know that is not necessarily the best. A lot of times people just don't want to do the work. A lot of times people are embarrassed. And sometimes that can take the form of resistance, anger. And sometimes some people just don't think that they can do it. If you're a friend or a relative or if that person, you can give them the best support in the world. But at the same time, I always caution people that it's a decision that they have to make. So be honest with them about it, but don't browbeat them about it. Offer them assistance. Say, hey, I'm going for a walk. Would you like to join me? That kind of stuff like that. Yeah. Someone says some of them have low self-esteem. Yes. Yeah. That comes part and parcel with with that. All right, even the ones, and sometimes the ones who with the most bravado have the lowest self-esteem. That's why they have to be loud about it. Okay. Everybody knows nobody wants to be overweight. It's difficult to be overweight. It's very difficult to be overweight. All right. It's tasking to be overweight. It's tasking to be sick. Nobody wants that. But a lot of times, people don't have a viable way to change it. And so what does that lead to? Defiance. Sometimes people give up. Sometimes people make statements, well, you're going to die anyway. So, exactly. So, hey, you're right, Stacy. I said that. No, it's not. Like I always tell people, if you want to know whether or not being overweight is cool, I always refer to nature. Look at nature. Do you see any overweight animals in the wild? Nope. Nope. Anything in excess is counterintuitive to good health. Okay? Anything in excess, even having too much fun, is not good for your health. It makes you lose perspective of reality. Because reality, life is not all fun. Life is not all roses. All right? Even roses have thorns. All right? So think about that. So, something to think about. Exactly. It does begin with the mind. It's mindset. Until that person makes that decision, you can't push nobody up a ladder. You can't. That person has to be willing to help themselves. It's almost like trying to save a drowning person. All right? That drowning person has to be willing to be saved. If not, you try to save a drowning person, guess what they're going to do? If they don't want to be saved, they will pull you down. All right? They will pull you down. So sometimes you offer the help, you be nice, you be kind, okay? But ultimately, it is their choice. Ultimately, it's going to be their choice. All right? So anyway, somebody says, what are the main supplements I take? This is turning into like Q&A. The main supplements I take I always tell people, optimize your minerals. Make sure you're getting the proper minerals in your body. I always recommend that people, especially women, supplement so that they get good quality minerals in their body. That's why I made the custom formula, the complete minerals. All right? It's very potent. It's all natural. All 102 minerals your body requires. We sell it in the capsule form and the powder form. So the powder form is best used in smoothies. The capsules you can take, take orally. You can also pull the capsules apart and put it in smoothies as well. I say optimize your minerals. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you're always cleansing and detoxifying your body. One of the best supplements for doing that is going to be chlorella and spirulina. So chlorella. So you can either take chlorella or take the chlorella and spirulina. And then last but not least, as a guy, over 40, good hormone balance. Even women, good hormone balance. Okay, make sure that you have your hormonal balance is on point, especially when you get over 40 years old. All right, having good hormonal balance is key. Having proper minerals will help. And then you can give yourself an extra boost when it comes down to hormonal balance. So that's why I take steel. All right, I take steel because steel provides me with a good hormone balance. Ladies, you can take things like the women's enhancement, or you can combine that with the horny goatweed. All right, that'll give you good hormonal balance because it has things like horny goatweed, maca root, and things like that, which are great for balancing your hormones. I think those are the basics. Obviously you can take other things like ginger, turmeric to manage inflammation. You can take things like, beetroot if you have things, issues with high blood pressure or stuff like that, which are also high in antioxidants. You can add those things. But, those three things for male and female right? Make sure you're optimizing your minerals. Make sure you're constantly detoxifying your body and adding extra, vitamins, which is what chlorella does, because chlorella is very, very high in all the B vitamins, especially B12, things like chlorophyll. Make sure you're getting you're oxygenating your body, all right? Bringing good oxygen to your body and cleaning out, toxins, and that's what chlorella does. Helps to rid your body of heavy metals and things like that. And like I said, hormone balance. All right. Once again, you don't. What that's the saying? You get old because your hormones change. All right. Your hormones don't change because you get old. You get old because your hormones change. If you can manage and maintain good hormonal balance, and good nutrition is the key to hormonal balance, guess what? You stop and can even reverse the aging process. I think I'm a living example of that. All right. Look at people who eat healthy, right? Who don't put all those hormonal disruptors in their body. Guess what? They maintain a certain youthful look, feeling, and energy, right? And it all comes down to hormones. All right. But what controls hormones? Nutrition. And as carbon-based beings, what nutrients should be optimized? Minerals. Because anything that you eat that has a high quality, high content of minerals will also have vitamins. Okay? So that's why I do the complete minerals, the sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock root. So if you're looking for that, visit the website. Yeah, you can do that. Is there really such a thing as organic chia seeds? Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are. I would always recommend to buy organic chia seeds. They're really not that expensive. They're not that much more expensive than the regular ones. But always opt for the organic. Okay. So I do that in my tea. Actually, I had my chia seeds already. This is my second cup, so this one doesn't have the chia seeds in it. All right. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. Once again, remember to visit the website. Use the discount code Unlimited20. Happy Friday, guys. And once again, send that message. Go to the post I made. Forward it to a couple of friends, a couple of family members, somebody that you really want to wish well. Okay? Forward it to them. And be that energy you want to receive. Happy Friday.